Hi, second grade students. Today we're going to start our study of Knowledge 2, Early Asian Civilizations. Today's story is going to be Lesson 1, the Indus River Valley, Part 1. Before we begin our story, we're going to go over our vocabulary words. Our first word is cultivate. Say cultivate. Cultivate means to grow or tend to a crop or a plant. Our next word is fertile. Say fertile. Fertile means rich in the materials or nutrients needed to produce many strong, healthy crops. And our last word is irrigation canals. Say irrigation canals. Irrigation canals are ditches cut into the ground to send water where it's needed. These snow-covered peaks are part of the Himalayas, a mountain range that stretches for miles across Asia, forming the highest mountain peaks in the world. Can you guess what happens to the snow on these peaks as it melts? The snow turns into water and travels down the mountainsides to form rivers in the valleys below. Water from the melting snows of the Himalayas combine with heavy spring rains, which then fill rivers and causes them to regularly overflow their banks. Fertile soil from the river's beds spread out over the nearby fields. As the water floods the valleys, it leaves behind this nutrient-rich soil, perfect for growing crops. Great civilizations all around the world have sprung up in river valleys. Taking advantage of the rich, fertile soil in these valleys, people learned to grow their own crops. Because of this, people began to stay in one place instead of constantly moving in search for food. Beneath the Himalayan mountains in Asia, along the banks of the mighty Indus River, one such civilization was born. Every year, snow from the Himalayas mountain melts. The water from the melting snow and heavy spring rains flood the Indus River Valley, leaving rich soil on the land around the river. More than 4,000 years ago, people spread out across the Indus River Valley. Taking advantage of the rich soil, they settled near the river and began to cultivate wheat and barley, peas, dates, melons, and bananas. These people knew that if they wanted to live near the river, they would have to control the floodwaters. They developed ways to control the rising waters by building irrigation canals. These were meant to hold some of the water back and to release some of the water into the fields when needed. As their communities grew, these people continued to work together to plan and to build permanent cities by the river. There were many permanent cities by the Indus River. Not so very long ago, archaeologists uncovered Mohenjo-Daro, one of the most thriving cities of the ancient Indus River Valley. A city enclosed by brick walls, Mohenjo-Daro was designed in a square, grid-like pattern. The citadel, the fortress or protected area at the city center, housed its leaders, priests who were members of the ruling class that performed both religious and governmental duties. Beyond the citadel, spreading out in all directions of the city, a web of roads led to the homes of countless workers. Everyone had a job to do. Some farmed the land outside the city walls, some made bricks from the river's muddy soil, and others fashioned these baked bricks into buildings. Other people in the Indus River Valley had other jobs. For example, fine craftsmen designed jewelry and distinctive stone seals carved with pictures of buffalo, elephants, and tigers, a form of writing. Archaeologists uncovered many of these stone seals, but they are not sure of the purpose of them. And all over the city, merchants bought and sold their wares, or goods they made to sell, such as pottery, jewelry, or bread. The city's wide streets, lined with flat-topped brick buildings, were easy for their common bull carts to navigate. The city of Mohenjo-Daro was part of the Indus River Valley civilization. We say that certain groups have a civilization when they have cities with large buildings, a division of labor, meaning everyone has a certain job to do, and some form of writing, just to name a few things. The city of Mohenjo-Daro had all of these things. In the next lesson, you will hear what it might have been like to live in the city of Mohenjo-Daro, a part of the Indus River Valley civilization.